Hello and welcome to our channel, Science Kids. Continuing our Two Big Mystery series, here is part 3. We hope you enjoyed this episode of this series. Thought of the Day by Tom Hanks. A hero is someone who voluntarily walks into the unknown. Words of the day. Buenos dias means good morning in Spanish. Language spoken in Spain.
Nandri means thank you in Tamil.
Joke of the day. Why did the invisible man turn down the job offer? Because he couldn't see himself doing it. Okay, so let's start with our first mystery. How did the Titanic sink? RMS Titanic. The RMS Titanic was the most luxurious ship of this time. Owned by White Star Line, during its maiden voyage from Southampton to New York, it hit an iceberg and sank with around 2,224 passengers on board. More than 1,000 people died. It took 2 hours for the ship to sink. The ship was equipped with 16 lifeboat davits, each capable of lowering 3 lifeboats for a total of 48 lifeboats. The Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats. 4 were which collapsible and proved hard to launch while the ship was sinking. Together, the 20 lifeboats were capable of holding only 1,178 passengers, which was only about half of the number of passengers on board, and only one third of the number of passengers that the ship could have carried at full capacity. This was consistent with the maritime safety regulations of that era. In addition, when the ship sank, many of the lifeboats that had been lowered were only about half full. The crew also wasn't trained for emergencies, for lowering the lifeboats and etc. And other owners of Titanic didn't want thought that 20 if there were 48 lifeboats, the area would look very crowded. So that's why they didn't also put more lifeboats. Background of the Titanic. The name Titanic derives from the Titans of the Greek mythology. Built in Belfast Island, the RMS Titanic was the second of the 3 Olympic-class ocean liners. The first one was RMS Olympic. The third was HMHS Britannic. Britannic was originally called the Gigantic and was to be over 1,000 feet, which is about 300 meters long. They were by far the largest vessels of the British shipping company White Star Line's fleet, which comprised of 29 steamers and tenders in 1912. The accident. Titanic departed from Southampton on 10th April 1912 and then stopped at Cherbourg, France. The next town was Queenstown, Nacob Island, before heading west towards New York. On 14th April, 4 days into the crossing and about 375 miles, which is about 600 kilometers, south of Newfoundland, she hit an iceberg at 11:40 a.m. ship's time. The collision caused the hull plates to buckle inwards along her starboard right side and laid 5 of her 16 watertight compartments open to the sea. She had been designed to survive up to 4 compartments. The accident. Some passengers and crew members were evacuated on the lifeboats. The a disproportionate number of men were left aboard because of a women and children first protocol for loading the lifeboats, which was generally observed at 2:20 a.m. The ship broke apart and just foundered with well over 1,000 people still aboard. Just under 2 hours after the Titanic sank, the Cunard liner RMS Carpathia arrived on the scene and took on board an estimate of 710 survivors. Amazing fact to blow your mind. Dr. Robert Ballard was the first one to discover the Titanic in 1985. Recent studies had shown that on the Titanic, bacteria have started growing and they have adapted themselves to metal present in it. It took 3 years to build a Titanic and less than 3 hours to sink. It weighs about 46,000 tons. It cost 7.5 million in 1912 and more than $400 billion today. Benjamin Guggenheim. Benjamin Guggenheim was born on 26th October 1865 and died in April 15th April 1912. Was an American businessman. He died aboard the Titanic when the ship sank in the North Atlantic Ocean. His body was never recovered. Guggenheim was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and the fifth of the seven sons of a wealthy mining magnate, Mayor Guggenheim, 1828 to 1905, and Barbara Mears, 1834 to 1900, both originally from Lingau, Aargau, Switzerland. The first member of his family to enter the Institute of Higher Learning. He entered Columbia College in 1882, matriculating with the class in 1887. However, he found most of his course boring and dropped out after the second year. He also attended the Pierce School of Business, then one of the most prominent business schools in the country. Guggenheim was a Jewish. In 1894, he married Florence Seligman. 1870 to 1937. My theories. How did the Titanic sink? When people were boarding the Titanic and leaving, they saw something black. They looked like fire. So when they left from Southampton, UK, that part which had fire or it was broken hit the iceberg on the same place. Since it was already damaged, the ship sank. And second, before the Titanic hit the iceberg, there might have been a coal blast in the basement, which made the ship weaker. And after that, it hit the iceberg, it sunk. So, thank you for this watching this mystery. The next mystery, Nishant will say, which is how did the moon form? So, stay tuned if you want to see this amazing mystery. Over to you, Nishant.
How did the moon form? The moon. The moon is Earth's only natural satellite and the brightest object in the night sky. It is also the largest moon in relation to its planet in the solar system. It has a diameter of 3,474 kilometers. What is the moon made of? The moon's surface is largely made of two rocks, basalt and granite. The white areas of the moon are mostly made of granite, while the dark patches on the moon are mostly made of basalt, a volcanic rock. Before telescopes were invented, people thought that the black spots on the moon were water bodies, so they gave them names like the Ocean of Storms, Sea of Tranquility, etc. They used to make stories related to the black patches on the moon like Man on the Moon and etc. When telescopes were invented, people observed craters, mountains, and other features similar to Earth but no water. When the astronauts from Apollo 11 landed on the moon, they found no water. They only found volcanic rock, basalt. This meant that the moon's dark spots weren't oceans of water, they were oceans of lava. The South Pole Aitken Basin. The South Pole Aitken Basin is the largest crater on the moon and one of the largest in the solar system. It is located on the far side of the moon. It has a diameter of about 2,500 kilometers. It was formed about 4.2 to 4.3 billion years ago and is the oldest crater on the moon. Amazing facts. First, the moon is 4.5 billion years old. Second, 12 astronauts have walked on the moon. Third, the moon is moving farther away from us every second. Fourth, moon has earthquakes called moonquakes. Fifth, the moon causes tides on Earth. Sixth, the length of the South Pole Aitken Basin is the distance between London and Athens, Greece. My theory on how the moon formed. About 4.5 billion years ago, another planet used to exist, about the size of Mars. It passed by Earth with its moon. Earth's gravity tore apart the planet and took the moon into its orbit. The torn apart planet made a ring around the Earth. Some of the rocks from the ring around Earth crashed into Earth and made such an impact that debris from Earth flew up to the moon. Meanwhile, the moon was orbiting in the same location as where the ring was. The moon collected all the remaining debris, making it bigger. The moon has tectonic plates like Earth. When the debris from Earth crashed into the moon, it made these tectonic plates form many volcanoes, which erupted and spread lava all over the moon. Over thousands of years, the lava cooled to form basalt.
Thank you for watching this video. If you learned something new today, give this video a like, subscribe our channel, and share with your family members and friends. And don't forget to like this video if you learned something new. And if you know something more about these two topics, write down in the comment section below. Bye.
Bye.